Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, please like, please subscribe, leave a message, hit that bell so you get all the notifications. We want you to be in on the conversation Monday through Friday. If you have something to say, we want to hear it. Thank you to all the people on Facebook that have been enjoying and chiming in on a regular basis. We appreciate that. That fan base growing up over there on my Coach Gene Clemens page on Facebook. So if you have not liked that yet, please make sure you do that as well. Amidst all of the backlash and the hoopla that the NFL has been receiving over their hiring practices with black men, they, continue to do the same thing. They continue to just hire white guys. It's amazing because you would think that just to placate and to quell some of the temperature around everything, they would have just gone out and hired a capable, successful, well-deserving black man as a head coach, which there seems to be an abundance of. I'm not even necessarily in the mood to go through all the names because I feel like as I go through names and as I continue to do these things, I just get more and more upset with it, more and more disappointed that the sport that I love at the highest level has decided that this is the way in which they want to conduct business. I argue, what is there to do? How can you combat it? And then, as we were looking back at all of these black men not being hired, Brian Flores drops the bombshell. And in my brain, I'm going, okay, this is going to cause them pause. This is going to make them stop. This is going to make them at least wait a minute. Let's get our house in order. Let's maybe just, if nothing else, then just for appearance, let's make it seem as if we're doing the right thing. And in the time since Brian Flores has come out with these allegations against the Dolphins and against the Giants and against the NFL, they hired 2 more white coaches. Now, a lot of people ask me, I'm saying they're just hiring the best candidate. Okay, cool. Except it's going to be hard for me to believe that in all of these cases, the best candidate happens to be white in a sport full of black people. In a sport full of black people hiring the white guy all the time to lead all these black men, the message subliminally that it sends is that if you don't have a white person, you don't have the intelligence. It's if you don't have the white person, you don't have the leadership. I'm not saying that's what anybody is saying. I'm telling you that's the stipulation that comes with the decision to continually promote white people into these positions. I go through it, or I think about it at the high school level, where you see all of these state championship level basketball and football teams that are almost entirely full of black men, black boys, being led by white men who are being paid handsomely to do so. It's not that I don't believe that these men are capable. It doesn't mean that I don't believe these men are worthy to be in those positions. My questions become, shouldn't there be more of the representative from the other side? See, this isn't just a fight at one level. When you go down to the college ranks, at the Power 5 level, where are all the black coaches at? At the Group of 5 level, where are all the black coaches at? At the FCS level, outside of HBCUs, where are all the black coaches at? JUCO level, Division II, Division III, NAIA, NCCAA. That's the National Collegiate Christian Athletic Association, for people who are wondering. Go and look at all of these rosters. Well over 500 to 600 programs that have football programs. Go and look at the well over 500 to 600, 700, 800, maybe even 1,000 basketball programs that have coaches, and tell me how many black people you see. I may have to do like the math on it, because I'm literally struggling to roll the names through my head. I know that black men are represented on the staff. At the highest level, you got to keep one in a prominent position, because that's the guy that's probably going to be one of your best recruiters. Surprise, surprise. A black man being one of the best recruiters so that you can then recruit black players. Not surprising. Again, it's not a diss. I'm not saying that any of these white men who have these jobs should not have the job. Although I will contend that at the NFL level, there are a lot of these guys getting jobs that, in my mind, have not earned the right to be a head football coach in the NFL. They have not put in the sweat equity at the same level that some of these other coaches have put in the sweat equity. They don't bring the same level of cachet to the job as many would think they do. Everybody keeps using the argument that Eric Bieniemy doesn't call plays. Oh, well, every time you bring up Eric Bieniemy, they say, well, he doesn't call the plays, except Andy Reid keeps telling everybody that Bieniemy calls the plays. Yeah, but it's Andy Reid's offense. Okay. So the guy who just got his second job off the Andy Reid tree, who didn't even spend a ton of years coaching at this level, that guy just got his second job, and he doesn't call plays. Andy Reid was calling plays then. It was Andy Reid's offense still. And yet nobody held that against him when he not only was able to get a job, but he was able to get one of the better jobs in the NFL. Philadelphia, who already had talent, who was in a major market where there was going to be a demand to put a product on the field that was good and not just sit back and collect the check like they do in Jacksonville. See, all of these teams really don't have the pressure internally to be good, because the money is coming in regardless. The revenue sharing is there regardless. The NFL prints money regardless. So they don't have a necessity to be great. They don't have the drive to be great. But in the cities where NFL football matter, in the cities where they won't stand for you being trash, those are the cities where you got to win. And guess what? 2 coaches off of that Andy Reid tree before Eric Bieniemy, 2 coaches were able to flip their offensive coordinator positions where they were not calling plays into head coaching positions. So if that is the case for them, if that is something that they are allowed to do, then let them do it. If that's the thing that they're allowed to do, then let them do it. But then don't take it against, don't hold it against Eric Bieniemy when Eric Bieniemy doesn't have that same cachet. When he doesn't bring that same thing to the table. Because it's unfair. It's a situation that we've seen so many times before, and we've never actually heard anybody give a legitimate answer to. If we're going to hold one person accountable for something, shouldn't we hold everybody accountable the same? Which means that if we're going to give one coach a job who wasn't the play caller but's an offensive coordinator, then shouldn't we hold that same thing together for everybody? It only makes sense that that's the case. It only makes sense that that's the case. It only makes sense that that's the way we're going, because that's how it should be, because that's the way we should do these things. The idea that the NFL said, hey, yeah, we know that there's this lawsuit going along. We know that there's these people who believe we're not doing things above board. But hold on, let's just keep on hiring the same people that have made people question us from the beginning. And now we're up to, I believe, 6 hirings. No brothers hired. No highly qualified black men in a league full of black men hired to lead those men. And yet people keep telling us that, oh, well, it's this, and oh, well, it's that, and there's a reason why, and such and such, and although, and there's always an excuse. And if there's always an excuse, then there's never the opportunity to succeed. You know, it's what we call moving the goalpost. It's what we call moving the goalpost, right? In football, if I kick a field goal and you move the goalpost, I never make it. So you tell us, hey, you know, they're looking for offensive innovators, and that's why all of these really, really talented black defensive coordinators are not getting jobs, head coaching jobs. And then you go out and you hire a white defensive coordinator. Problem. Then you tell us, okay, well, offensive innovation is what they're looking for. And so they're looking for these guys who are running these innovative offenses. And then we look at the most innovative offense in the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the offensive coordinator, who happens to be a black man, can't get a job. Meanwhile, one of the most boring offenses in all of the NFL has a guy at the helm who continues to get job offers. Somebody make it make sense to me. I have no clue. It's a Friday, so I'm not going to lose my mind, and we're going into the bye week before we get to the NFL, but this isn't over. And when they get to LA, when they get there and people start asking questions of the NFL commissioner, asking questions of these NFL owners, I hope they have something better than, well, we just picked the best candidate. I hope they have a way to tell us why the people that they picked were a best candidate. Because we don't believe them. There's no reason to, because they've continued to lie and they've continued to move the goalposts. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, you know what to do. All that good stuff. Until next time, peace.